All right, we had a story we wanted to take a closer look at, and we kind of alluded to it earlier, but here we go. Ann Davidson, who has been the chief security officer at Oracle for almost the last 40 years, her entire tenure, has decided that she is going to be heading out. She has been known for her leadership and some controversial stances that she's taken on security issues. This is not the first person that's been leaving Oracle as of late, though, because there's been some layoffs, and Oracle has definitely shifted its focus toward AI focused strategies. These two things are not directly linked. And her departure is not linked to any of the recent security incidents that they've had. Instead, it's posited that this is actually a generational change because the company wants to bring in younger executives to help tackle new cybersecurity challenges and AI issues. And Al, I thought it would be great for us to kind of take a closer look at this story because it looks at the way that the traditional guard in Silicon Valley is starting to realize that maybe this is the next paradigm shift that they're not ready to jump with. So let's take a look at the fact that someone who's been with Oracle for 40 years has said, now is the time when I want to step away. Do you think that Oracle will be able to replace that experience with younger talent, knowing that they're probably going to be very focused on how to adopt and secure AI?
It's hard to replace 40 years of experience, and Marianne has definitely adapted as the market has changed. She has been pulled to change her stance on security through the sort of .com explosion and all of the move from being very sort of slow paced innovation and security towards real time change to security and update. And there's definitely she's been part of the cultural changes at Oracle that have been a bit more about openness and a bit more about visibility of what's going on. That's very unnatural for Oracle, and the pace of change that's going on now also is very unnatural for Oracle. And this, I think, is what we're seeing: is that in order to accommodate the pace of change that is required to transform to a more AI-oriented organization, does require a kind of rip and replace. This is the challenge. This is as covered in the innovator's dilemma. When you have this very safe, secure stream of income for a long period of time, you're disincented to innovate, and it may well be a good time for a change of guard when there is a requirement for this new innovation to get people whose thinking is not clouded by how we did things 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and who will bring a completely new perspective. The challenge, of course, is losing the institutional knowledge that's gained, those insights from back when I had hair, which I did when she was new with the organization because I was still a teenager. Uh, yeah, the departure, I mean, her departure may well be simply, it's time to get out of this game. I don't want to come onto this next new wave. I've already been through a few waves. This is something that definitely comes to you if you're financially secure and moving out into your 60s, 70s, 80s, those kinds of times. You want to work less and enjoy your life, spend your time on a boat rather than on a boardroom. Um, but what does it mean for Oracle? I think it is going to be part of a foundational shift. We've seen quite a lot of layoffs from Oracle, affecting even friends of ours, and transition in staffing. I think there is a risk, of course, that a lot of organizations that are saying AI is going to take over all of these jobs are finding that their implementation of AI isn't ready to take over those jobs and they need to rehire. Do you think Oracle's going to do a good job of reinventing itself for this new world, or do you think that the hangover of the long time and the large numbers of lawyers that Oracle is well known for is going to lead them to not being able to course correct enough?
Well, I mean, we do have patterns in the industry that we can look at, right? We saw Microsoft reinvent themselves from being an operating system company to being now an AI cloud application giant. We saw IBM literally turn that aircraft carrier on a dime and turn into a cloud company that's not selling mainframes, although they really are. But the identity of who IBM now is not wrapped up in that. I'm not saying it's not possible. It absolutely is. I'm saying that that's not a fun road to go down. And you have to have leadership that's willing to take those risks. IBM kind of had nothing left to lose, right? They acquired Red Hat and basically used Red Hat as a way to kind of transform the company. Microsoft basically had to get rid of Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer to make that transition. Nobody other than Satya Nadella could have made that happen. So, what do you think? Longtime listener and friend of the show, Larry Ellison, what do you think? Do you think that the company can transform to be an AI giant? Oh, sorry, you were out sailing a sailboat. Sorry. I think that's going to be your hangup right there. Is you can everybody, and you're not going to can everybody, but you can get rid of a lot of people. You can organizationally shift that structure as much as you want, but if the transformation isn't being led from the top down, then nobody's going to care. And I think that that's the challenge, right? And that's one of the reasons why I think it was time for Davidson to kind of step aside. Was, go back and look. 10 years ago, she told people they shouldn't be looking for bugs in Oracle code, right? She's the reason why everything in Oracle was labeled as unbreakable for a long time. And quite honestly, she's the reason why a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, I bet. Watch this. I think the challenge that you're going to run into is that for every person that is going to be wanting to make these leaps and bounds in the way that Oracle or even other companies are doing these kinds of things, you're going to have a bunch of old guard folks that are a little more cautious, a little more conservative. And I'm not saying that as a political ideology, I'm saying that as a person who is resistant to change. And quite honestly, I think you're going to see a lot of people who are a little bit more aware of the stock price that their 401k depends on. And so while they're getting dragged kicking and screaming into 2025, knowing that AI is the way and the light in the future and we've got to do this, are they willing to sell off sections of the company that aren't making money in order to fund more AI development? Or are they going to say, well, why don't we take a look, see at this? And if we can make it stick out for 18 more months, then I can retire with a cushy 401k and I don't have to worry about this anymore. I don't have those answers right now. And honestly, I don't think anybody at Oracle has those answers. I don't know of any company in the industry that has those answers right now. But I'll tell you one thing, those answers are not going to be coming from somebody who is north of 50. I'll put it that way. And yeah, okay, that sounds ageist. I'm not denying that at all. But people who are on the backside of their career with an amassed knowledge of the way that IT has run in the past don't look at things through the same lens that people who are on the front side of their career do. And look at the number of people coming up who are programmers versus who were not. Look at the number of people coming up who are comfortable using tools like ChatGPT and other associated AI systems versus those who are not. Look at the people who are flexible enough to do what it takes to get the job done versus the people who don't want anything to change because I figured this out and I'm tired of having to learn new things. You have to have the right mix of those people to make this happen. And all it takes is one little monkey wrench in the system to throw everything out of whack.